can't tell from just looking at it, today we're going to be bombing around in the Embraer E175 here in the Air Canada Express colors. So we're going to be doing a flight today from Toronto down to Baltimore. It's a fairly quick flight. It's just over an hour in the air, and yeah, I've never been to Baltimore before, so what the heck, let's try it out. And at the same time, I lost my train of thought. Just like that. Distracted for a second trying to turn the volume down and lost my train of thought. But yeah, we're just going to take it down to Baltimore. And not the best weather in Baltimore today, but it's not terrible. So we'll see what happens. Our alternate today is to come all the way back to Toronto. We do miss Baltimore, so it's a bit of a long way. So let's hope it doesn't come to that. But yeah, otherwise we're going to get going on the session right here. And I do hope that this works today because this airplane is notoriously unreliable. It's not the best payware airplane in the world. It's somewhat simplistic. The FMS is actually really quite advanced, which kind of stands in contrast to the fact that it's a little bit crash happy and not prepared. This is a 64-bit prepared version 4 version of this aircraft, and all they did was they didn't change anything from the original 32-bit version. They just simply recompiled the DLLs to work in 64-bit prepared. So it's not been heavily beta tested or anything like that. They have not invested a lot of time in it. That being said, they still do charge money for it, so I wish they had invested enough time to actually test it and make sure it doesn't crash, because I do find it crash worthy. So I'd like to apologize in advance if it does crash. It's going to be... I really wish this was not the case, but this is just the way this airplane works. So I would like it not to crash. I'd like to make it all the way to Baltimore. That being said, the last couple of times I tried to fly it, I have not even made it off the ground. If I can make it off the ground, usually it's fine. It's all the setup and programming where at some point the DLLs don't disagree with it and eventually give up. So, but we're going to give it a try anyways. The worst thing we can do is give it a try, and if it fails, well, then I might switch airplanes or I might just call it a day. But we're going to give it a try. So we're going to go ahead with the... we're going to start right from the beginning with the power-up checklist. Batteries 1 and 2 on.
Okay.
Easiest things to see. Should get to a status page. Battery voltage looks good. Perfect. Back to auto. Alright. Battery's good. ICAS messages appear to be stabilized. And so we'll go ahead and turn on the ground power. That should bring up all the rest of our screens and everything else. And emergency lights test. So we do on, and we look around behind us and see if we can actually see anything, but cabin crew is keeping us locked in here today. So that's armed. While we're at it, we're going to get the snow smoke sign on. Fire extinguishing panel, we would test it. You'd see a whole bunch of fire alarms. All these lights would turn red. You'd hear the fire alarm. You'd see a whole bunch of fire warnings up here and on there. Doesn't work in this aircraft. APU we're not going to use right now. Nav lights are going on. And hydraulic panel, everything's 12 o'clock except for 3A, which is going to be off at the beginning. Electronic CBs, so you come in here, and if you press the CB button, it should show you any of the electronic CBs that have been tripped. DVDR test, and the cockpit reinforced door panel. Again, we would go and test that, make sure it works, and the photoluminescence strips. And I thought I opened the doors for them to load this aircraft, but apparently I did not. There we go. Alright, so the power-up checklist is complete, and so now we're going to go ahead and start with our setup. So normally we'd get the ATIS and the ACARS. There is no ATIS today, there is no ACARS to initialize, so we're just going to go straight into just grabbing an ACARS weather report. 3001 on the meter. Let's see if I can set up some nicer views maybe today on the way down to Baltimore if I have some time. I haven't really set up too many nice views in this airplane, and I've done it in some nice other airplanes, and it makes life so much easier. Some zoomed in views so you can see a little bit clearer what's going on the PFDs. Just to kind of lean in and look at them, but that's okay. Wind 360 at 7, 50 miles sky clear. So 360 at 7, so we're probably departing on 6 left. I thought But now, yeah, so then we go to the overhead panel and just start checking all the panels, make sure everything's in the correct positions. 12 o'clock forward and pushed in is usually the correct position for everything. Test the enunciated lights, none of them work. Handles are stowed, everything's 12 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Fast seatbelt sterile off for now, everything's pushed in, 12 o'clock pushed in, 12 o'clock lights are on right now, our nav lights. Oh, let's see here, pushed in, 12 o'clock except for 3A, 12 o'clock pushed in, these are not pushed in, now those are pushed in. And that all looks good. Alright, and the next thing we basically do after we do the overhead panels, we come to the FMS and make sure we're all set up here. So, 17th of May, our database is still current. Should be dual, but anyway. Can't change that. Position initialization, so we're just going to load the GPS position, clear that scratch pad message, and start loading up the flight plan. And this is where it usually starts to fail on me. I'm very suspicious of this airplane. I don't know why I keep trying to do it. Use this airplane because it so often fails me, and it just disappoints me because this FMS is very well done, all things considered. It's not the best FMS in the world, but it's about 80 to 90% of the way there in terms of realistically representing the Honeywell FMS. So just to see that it does usually work quite well and then suddenly fail at some point is just so frustrating. Alright, so we've got mobile, Ricum. That's not right. Pay attention. Alright, 06 left. Should be the Kepta 2 departure.
Hello.
Bomba. Let's try that one. Mobile, Ricum, Kepta, Bomba. That's better. And then next fix is D-dubs. And then Izzy. And then the arrival. Trish 3 arrival. Let's see. Working off this flight plan here. Expected arrival runway in Baltimore. And I'm totally unfamiliar with Baltimore, so it's really kind of a, I hate to say crapshoot, but I'm just really not familiar. Which is part of why I'm doing this. This is a little familiarization. Trish 3 via the Izzy transition. Insert. One thing is that it is slower in real life than it is even in the FMS, in the sim here. Get them. Let go of trays, rocket Trish. Yeah, it all looks about right, so we're going to go ahead and activate this route. I can put in the alternate route, but before I do that, I'm going to start initializing the variable, the performance, because I find that this is oftentimes where it has trouble crunching the numbers. And we're going to go ahead and put in the cruise speed today. It's planned at 7.3 for cruise, so we're going to go ahead and go 7.3 for cruise. Departure, we should always have no for the first approach waypoint sequence. Alright, taxi out today, we're going to burn 160, so 750 is the fuel reserve. 160 for the taxi out. We're not going to save any fuel for the taxi in. We can use our reserves to taxi in, that's fine. Alright, and let's see here. 290 is the altitude today, I believe. Yeah, 290. 290 here. There we go. 290 again for that. And ice deviation today is +8. Average wind on the flight plan today, what we use, 234.42. We're at 42. And then the Z of W of 26.110. This is usually one of the first crunch points. Once everything is put in here, and I do the very first initialization, and it worked. So it didn't crunch there. Great. Hopefully it'll keep on not crunching. And now let's get crunchy already. Alright. Alternate today is all the way back to Toronto. It's kind of lousy weather down in the northeast US today. Gonna make it a little bit fun. So all the way back to Toronto. Routing for Toronto. It's kind of complicated, so it's got a bunch of fixes in here. Pays to have these in here if stuff hits the fan, as it were. Fully at north 39 sounds better than south 35. Woolley, EMI, Phillipsburg, Woolsey. Always good to have this in there, and then when stuff is going south in a hurry and you need to really make a break for your alternate quickly, it's nice that this is already mostly in here. And then we can cross that over there. That completes the route. We activate that. Beauty. Nothing has failed yet. Takeoff performance today. So today, let's see here, waiting for my actually to close exit 1. All right, yeah, if boarding's complete, you can go ahead and close up. We're just going to be a couple more minutes to finish getting set up here. All right, so they're going to close those doors, waiting for my performance data to load. Here we go. There's 6 left today, inner lane. Wow, these speeds are going to be slow, but that's because we're only taking 31 passengers down to Baltimore. Not even a half load in this aircraft, so we're quite light. Even with enough fuel to come all the way back to Toronto, we're still quite light. 131, 134. And VFS is 185. TRS, we're going to do climb 2. Takeoff data, so we're going to do a takeoff 2 at, 19 degrees in Toronto, so 19 degrees, ECS on and flexing up to 33 degrees. Now, I can put all this in there, it's not going to make a difference, whatever I put in here. The calculation that's going to be coming on here, it should be 85.6, it's 86.5, it's always way off, so I'm not going to be too concerned about that. And the FMS setup is complete, so we'll go ahead and start setting up the rest of this here. Now, why is the auto throttle?
Throttle.
Thank you, it shouldn't be on. Shouldn't even be armed yet. We should have the flight director up. Why is the flight director not coming up? Interesting. Why is the flight director not up? Should be big crosshairs there. It's not up there. We'll continue prepping and see what happens. Of course, we'll fly runway heading. What did I say? VFS is 185. 5. Top altitude to Toronto is 5,000 normally. Got 5,000 feet. And yeah, so quick flight has been checked. So we got source left, roll at takeoff. For some reason it's not going to do it. There we go. Toggle button on the power lever. Let's see, working. There it is. Alright, so now we got source left, roll takeoff, and 5,000 feet is set. Barrow 3001 inches, indicating 560 feet. FMS magenta and no flags. Alright, moving along here. I like to have all of this stuff up here for some good SA. Definitely want to have the vertical profile and the progress pages up. Those are super useful, important pieces of information. TCAS also useful. Status. Oil's full. Crew oxygen's full. Accumulators have enough in them anyways. Then bring up the flight control page. Auto brake I just don't use because I don't use it. Put some stuff up on his page because otherwise it's weird to look over there and only see a half a page worth of information. Throw you over to status. You should be in FMS mode there on your PFD. There we go. Alright. And continue moving down. Everything's where it should be. 12 o'clock. The engines are not on. The flaps is zero. Disconnects are stowed. Can't move the seat back to see if the disconnect is stowed. I have a better view somewhere down here. There it is. It's stowed. Alright. And should do a trim test as well. After 3 seconds,
Trim.
The trim should stop. It doesn't. You get the alarm, but it doesn't actually stop. In the aerial airplane stops
Trim.
for 3 seconds. You need to do more than 3 seconds worth of trim in plane for didn't know I end about it. Trim actually just will stop too. so far so good. Yeah, so basically we're done all the flows, so we'll do a quick emergency briefing. So in the event of any abnormality or the problem during taxi, we will stop. Otherwise, this will be a left seat takeoff. Any malfunctions prior to V1 of 126 will call stop or go. If the call is stop, all close thrust levers, apply maximum brake, disconnect the auto throttle, apply maximum reverse, and stop on the runway. All set to park brake and PA remain seated. If the calls go where we're at above V1, I'll continue the takeoff at 400 feet. I'll call heading mode bank and ask you to identify the failure. The engine failure procedure off runway 06 left here in Toronto is to continue runway heading 057 all the way up to 1600 for the flap retraction, and after retraction flap continue up to 5,000 feet. And once established in the climb, I'll call for any requirement items or QI checklists. Otherwise today, we're going to taxi out, we're gate 191. We're going to taxi out lane 9 or 10 for 6 left. It's going to be Charlie out, Delta Papa, Delta, and cross threshold of 33 right and hold short of 06 left. The departure today, the Kepta 2 departure off runway 06 left is, there it is. It's on jet plate 10-3 Echo 2, effective on the 18th of May of 2018. Hey, that's tomorrow. It's really mostly editorial, new format change. So they've got the geography now on the sit chart here in Toronto. Otherwise, the notes are all basically the same as they are, with both note radar required. Off 06 left, unless otherwise signed by ATC, it's climb heading 057, and actually we should just be pulling this up on the FMS to make sure it's correct. Heading 057 to 1,000 feet, and then continue the 057 heading. Or as assigned, expect radar vectors to mobile, or as assigned, then proceed by the picture route, unless otherwise signed by ATC, maintain 5,000. 5,000 is on the altitude alerter, and mobile's the first fix. After mobile, we do have a Rycom, Kepta, and Bumpa. Alright, so yeah, so we're good. Terrain, 3,100 foot MSAL around Toronto. We'll clear all the obstacles. Weather is good here. Destination's not great, but the alternate to come back here, and again, here, good. Operational noise 2 departure, and we're going to be way below max landing weight. We probably already are. Let's see here. He should be. I'm going to pull up the status page. And yeah, we're at 31,000 kilos, so we're already below max landing weight. Immediate return is fine. Any runway here in Toronto would be fine, and no major NOTAMs, some closures on the south side complex, but doesn't really affect the departure off 6 left. No MELs affecting the aircraft. Any questions? Nope? Okay, cool. Then away we go. Alright, so let's go ahead with the before start checklist to the line. Passenger signs panel. Where is it? There it is. Passenger signs panel. We did, let's just check the fuel load actually. That's next on the list anyways. Actually 5350, and I believe the block is about 5300 here. Just pull up my flight plan. Blocking today 5270. Alright, perfect. So we can go ahead. Signal sign on. Alright, so passenger sign panel is set. And I'm gonna do, sorry, I'm playing with my ChasePlane as we do this because I haven't had very many opportunities really to fly this airplane with ChasePlane because it's such a pain in the rear trying to get it to work. So I'm trying to assign a couple of keys now to make things useful. Alright, so pressurization is set. Oxygen masks we already checked. Flight instruments were cross-checked. Thrust levers are idle. And actually, now that I think about it here, just give me 1 second, because I haven't switched the controls for this aircraft, so we're just going to, there's controls here. We're just going to really quickly load our profile here. And, sorry guys, just stick with me for 1 second. I was flying the dash last, and the dash and the jets have a different profiles, so we're going to go ahead and import this one from the E175. Let's just make sure that I don't have things set up to do things here. Okay, no, alright, so let's try that now. There we go, that did set the spoilers off. Okay, perfect. So we got spoilers, we got power levers. Perfect. Okay, apologies. So thrust levers are idle. Fuel quantity, again, 50 270 required, 5350 on board, and MCDU is all set. So the before start checklist to the line is complete. Let's go ahead and start that APU before we have to pull off that ground power. And that's basically what we're waiting for at this point, is to pull off the ground power. Otherwise, we're basically ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and prepare for pushback and departure. It'll be, we'll just do a straight back push. And we don't start it before the pushback. Alright, here comes our tug. Here goes our APU. We can also pull up the electric page and just watch as the APU comes online. Before we pull off the GPU.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
APU's got it, it's green. Alright, stand by. Alright, GPU's coming on. Alright, and if the GPU is off, then you can go ahead and pull the bridge. Alright, and we're going. Slowly. Bridge is really slow. Something happening as well. It's weird when it's flipping like that. Alright, I guess it helps if we close the cargo doors. Whoop, didn't mean to do that, sorry. Alright. On the status page there, cargo doors are closed. Go ahead and arm the main doors as well. And now we should be good. Now we're ready for the pushback. Straight back push. A little bit awkward.
Launching gear.
Alright, while we're at it here, things I didn't do, because we didn't get a proper clearance, I did not set up a squawk code that's correct. We're just going to go ahead and bomb in the 2000 on the squawk code.
Departure check completed. Line has been inserted. Release parking brakes.
Okay, you guys are ready for the pushback? Okay, stand by one moment. We'll say we call it the push, they approve it, so before I start checking the little line doors and windows are closed. Locked. Hydraulic pump 3A is on. Red beacon is on. Transponder is going to TARA. The same thing in my V-pilot. For some reason they don't link properly. And the emergency park brake is released.
Commencing push.
Little line complete. And
start that wheel.
you guys are clear for pushback. Thank you. Here we go. Alright, and start engine 1. Now for the backwards FeelThere start, which doesn't work the way it's supposed to. So you see rotation of N2, you see a little bit of oil pressure building. What you should see at 7% N2 is you should the ignition come on, not the fuel flow, the ignition comes on. The fuel flow is what comes on at 20%. 20%, you should get fuel flow. And why are we not getting light off here? There it goes. I was about to say. It took a long time to get light off. Alright, that looks like a normal start on 1. And we can go ahead and start engine 2. And a bit of an awkward location to push, so we're just going to go ahead and call it there. And then, of course, for some reason it's like double clicking every single time I do it, so he's gone. Alright, so set parking brake's gone. I think it's for whatever reason it just set GSX there, fine. We got the pushback out of the way. Engine starts looking good. We're getting there. And I hate to knock on wood, hate to jinx myself, but so far so good. Managed to do the whole start process and the pushback, FMS initialization, everything without locking up the paired. This is the first time I've actually been successfully flying this airplane in quite a while here. Alright, I'm a little bit nervous just that it's going to crash at some point. Now I'm getting excited it's going to crash on me for sure. But anywho, Okay, so we're going to do the flight control check. So elevators, ailerons, and the rudder. Oh, that's not the rudder. That's my, that's the wrong thing. Alright, rudder. And, yeah, so takeoff lap 2. Flight control, sorry, and after start checklist. So ground equipment is removed. Takeoff trim. I don't have anything to dictate otherwise. We're just going to use the standard 4.0 up, set 00. And slat flap is also 2 set. I'm not sure if you can quite see that under there. Let me see if I can hold this up. You guys can see that. I think that should get up. You can see it there. It's kind of hidden behind me a little bit here, but right over here, I think it's slat flap 2 set. Flight controls are checked, and the APU come off. No cooldown period. 2-minute cooldown period standard on the APU, anyways. After start checklist is complete and ready for taxi. I realized I don't have any traffic in here. I thought I had traffic right now. Like one more option switch here. No, I do have it up there. I must have disabled the traffic package. And I keep on disabling my traffic package just because the BVAI is so good without my traffic package. Anyway, alright. I'm not going to fix it now. I'm happy that we have this thing going here, so let's go ahead and clear left, clear right. Brakes off, right? What the hell? I'm stuck. I killed. Brakes off. Cycle it again. That's weird. Oh man. Everything's going well to this point. I'm going to go ahead and well, that was what was doing it. GSX is holding us back. As soon as I reset GSX, boy did she take off there. You okay? We're going to clear this? Okay. Whatever happened to kill GSX right there. Also was still holding the airplane back. Still thought the TUD was passed even though the TUD was gone. Oh, mercy. Can't be perfect every time, I guess, guys, but we're underway here. Alright, taxi light on. I don't think FlyTampa has the dash line. There's a second dash line here. Again, the apron. They just have the solid. That's okay. Just a quick check. There was one other guy. 2 other people on the ground here in Toronto. Vancouver, Canada here somewhere. I'm not sure why all the lights are on. It's a little odd because it's blindingly daytime. Blindingly daytime, and yet, yeah. For some reason, all the lamps are on. I'm not sure why. Not going to worry about it. I'm just happy that this airplane is able to get to the taxi phase today without blowing up repairs or words. Just every time I've tried to fly this airplane lately, it's been a real bear. So I'm really happy to get this going, get a chance to get this going properly here today. See that Air Canada flight from Vancouver anywhere. domestic pier is the next pier. It's pier D&E. You might see him out there sooner or later. We don't have hunting concerns. Not too many other aircraft around here right now. So. Kinda wish I had the traffic package on. Quiet mornings like this, it's nice to have the traffic package. Too bad. I'm not going to restart at this point. We'll just taxi around some vacant airports. It's a quiet morning here in Toronto today, guys. Alright, clear on the left. I need like a better like outlook with them. I like to try to see a little better. You know, like the lean forward and look out the window down view. Alright, right turn on Delta, cross 33 right, no. Alright, crossing 33 left, clear on the left, right, just drove on, and it's funny, because when you cross this runway in real life, as you cross these marks, you hear them, dunk, 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 dunk. You have to notice bump each cross each line here. You get up at the top of that runway, and then it's basically downhill. Alright, cross the runway, strobe light back off again. And away we go. I'm pretty impressed so far that this has not crashed. I crashed when I started programming the I pray it don't. After such a successful start to this flight, it'd be such a shame to lose it. And if I do lose it, I ain't gonna start again. It's been very frustrating trying to fly this airplane lately. It's just not wanted to run properly. Very crash happy. Down the hill, usually have to ride the brakes all the way down to the threshold of 65 because it's downhill all the way here. The other thing that you'll see these days on the threshold of 6 left is right beyond the end of this taxiway here, just where it takes a turn to the left towards the runway. There's a gate with a giant, with a couple trailers now, and especially in the evenings, you see a lot of activity there because this year they're repaving runway 24 right along with a bunch of taxiways out here, and that's their construction base. So especially in the evening towards 9, 10 o'clock at night, you see them all gathering there, getting ready because they only have about a 6 to 8 hour window at night to work. And realistically, if you're paving stuff, you've got to get the paving done in the first 3 to 4 hours because it's got to be somewhat cool, dry, and hard by the time traffic starts rolling onto it the next morning. So they are ready to go. They're hanging out of the gate early, ready to go when the runway closes. Alright, before takeoff checklist. Cabin crew seats for departure.
Takeoff, okay.
Alright, before takeoff checklist, cabin is notified brake temps are green. ICAS is checked, and takeoff configuration is checked. And a quick review of the flight plan here. So today it's the kept at 2 departure off runway 06 left. It's runway heading 057 all the way up to 5,000 feet. That's what's set. And almost the first fix. 28.8 would be the departure frequency if we had departure. Alright. What's that tower? We're clear for takeoff. Oh, you're the best. Alright. Clear left, clear right. Alright, let's go ahead and see the lights. Clear for takeoff. Just get those as well right now. Come on, Parrot, you can do it. You can load those textures. Turn away from the textures for 1 minute and everything unloads. Alright. Lined up, auto throttle is armed, And lights are on, set. Rolling up to 40. Let's just get some screens up here so I can see what I'm doing as we go down the runway here. And I might put this one back down to level. Alright, everything's stable. Punch it. Punch it, Chewie. Takeoff, check thrust.
Speed alive. Thrust checked. $80 knots.
Check.
V1. Rotate. Positive rate.
You're up.
Gear up.
Alright, heading mode. Heading 057. Heading. And flight level change mode. Flight level change screen autopilot on. AP. And speed should move. Still be trying to get to VFS. Should move when you still flight level change mode. Pretty good. Should also be a pink one there. Let's call flaps 1. Speed check flaps. Go ahead, flaps 0. Speed check flaps. Speed up to 210. Alright. Go ahead and set 7,000 for the altitude initially, because that's what you usually get. And there's 3,700, so we'll go ahead and start a turn direct to fold along course. Go ahead and make an altitude in Toronto 36. Start the turn with the heading bug. And get that all in there pretty much. We'll go ahead and here. Mobile, firm activate, nav available, LNAV, LNAV armed. Change, LNAV armed. Redo it again here because it doesn't adjust ever. Direct mobile again, firm activate, activate. Now it's LNAV. That's 6,000 climbing 7,000. Let's go ahead and speed on FMS. And let's go ahead and get the altitude in there. Flight level change green again. Let's go ahead and get up to 290. Power, I can hear it again. Hey, we're airborne. We're doing some good things here. We're working. We're working. Alright, so let's get all the way up to cruise altitude here at this point. 290. And we're underway. Here's 290. Beauty. After takeoff checklist. So after takeoff checklist. So landing gear is up. Slat flap is 0 and the APU is off. After takeoff checklist is complete. And away we go. On our way to Baltimore. I didn't think we'd make it. I was getting very frustrated with this aircraft. I'm so happy we're airborne successfully. I started the live stream I think twice before and had to give up halfway through the live stream. Not halfway through 20 minutes into the live stream. We started like a second and a third time and just was ready to kill somebody. So frustrating to watch it not work properly. Alright, there goes 10,000. Alright, 10,000. Lights out. And seatbelt off. Boom. And we're underway, people. Texture, shall we? That's actually not too bad, really. I can see the Don Valley Park. It's not the best rendition in the world, but I can definitely see it. Yeah, the bridge there. an hour. It's a pretty quick flight down to Baltimore. So once we level off and cruise, it's pretty much one of those, alright, we got to start planning the arrival already kind of thing. Farewell, Toronto. And we're on our way. Nice to get the Embraer working for once. So often it does not want to work properly. We go to Bumpa and then we pretty much make a right turn right away. Or speed up eventually. Got a very similar route to Washington. So by the Captain 2 and then suddenly the Captain make a huge right turn and head due south of the Captain. It's a nice day here. It's not going to be nearly so nice as we can get to Baltimore, unfortunately. It's quite lousy there, but that's okay. We can deal with stuff that happens. It should be good enough for us to get it, and if we don't, back to Toronto we go. Pop my what's it called? Active Sky. Just to make sure that it does draw some accurate weather as we go. Shifting, figure out what we're trying to do here. Alright, well, we got an airport. Not too bad. That took us 45 minutes, I guess. That's pretty typical. That's exactly what you expect it to take. Away we go. Beautiful day in Toronto. Lousy day in the northeast US, even in the southeast US. There's a not quite tropical depression weather system going on down there, apparently. We're not quite far enough.
Transition altitude.
Thank you. Set standard. There. Work. Standard set. Cross check passing 185. Yeah, it's got the markings of an initial tropical storm, but it never even reached quite the stage of tropical depression. That being said, it's continuous rain showers and activity. Most of the southeastern seaboard, and even right up into New York for the next several days. Continuous rain almost. It's really miserable down in Atlanta. Not too bad. The nice thing is at least at that time of year where it is quite warm, when it does rain, you don't mind it too much. Even for us for a couple minutes because you're not cold at least. Beautiful day over here on the Canadian side of the border. Just a few clouds here and there, and that's it. Alright, so once we get leveled off and cruise, we're going to start planning this right away. Never been to Baltimore before. I'll leave some time to sort of orient myself. Part of what we're doing today. Just get oriented and make sure we're all on the same page here. So. If anyone has any questions about the 175, anybody watching talk about the 175 and has any questions, I'm willing to answer some questions. Again, this is a case of FeelThere having it's not bad. A lot of the switches you can move and they do have some sort of impact. The systems aren't underneath, so it just makes move a switch, make a light turn on kind of aircraft. It looks quite good though. It looks a lot like the real thing. The PFD, MFD, ED. They're all really quite accurate, I guess, for lack of a better word, like this. You know, it's not so much that there's inaccuracies on this payware aircraft as there's just stuff that has to fix it. The fact that you can't even test the lamps, you can't even test the fire protection system, even just turn on the lights. Can't even do that. So it's things like that that are missing. It's not that, and again, I don't believe that I think at any point in time that there is a lot of underlying stuff here. That being said, I think there is a market for it. I had a buddy and we discussed this quite a while, and I think that there is a market for a very high fidelity regional jet. Like along the lines of a PNG 737, where you have a complete failures simulation available to you, and the Embraers are some of the most common regional jets out there. And again, this goes back to why people like the Aeroson's here. I tend to agree with the idea that most flight simmers, and there's lots of people that do have time for longer flights and longer intervals. They live in perhaps a small apartment or a condo, a dorm, somewhere where they're, even when they're away from their computer, they're never more than a couple hundred, they're not more than like a dozen, 2 dozen feet away. They're doing homework or whatever, they can come back and monitor certainly an overseas flight. But most, I would say the average flight simmer doesn't have time for long haul overseas, Europe, North America type flights, or Dubai to the Middle East, Dubai to North America, something like that. Most people don't have time for that. So I think there's a huge place for more people. I think that's part of what makes the Q so popular with simmers, is that it's an airplane that you can cover. You can get an entire flight done in a realistic session, 2 hours. You can get a very realistic, half an hour prep, taxi out, do like at least an hour to an hour 20 minute flight, land somewhere and taxi in. You've done a whole good flight, a real flight in 2 hours without having to accelerate time or anything like that, or having to worry about walking away from the flight deck and being caught away from the flight deck. So I think there's a good market for the regional jet type aircraft. I think that the Embraer is actually Canada. I think it's a fantastic airplane. If you like flying an Airbus with a lot of fairly automated systems, there's not a lot to do as long as everything works. Now, if things start going wrong, there's lots of stuff that can't go wrong. Embraer, I think, is a very challenging aircraft to simulate. There's so much happening in the electrical side. But on the flip side, a lot of the electrical stuff that happens at 280 climbing 290, a lot of the electrical stuff that happens can be simulated quite easily with code. And you don't necessarily have as much fidelity as you have with, a hydraulic or an electrical system. With a lot of these black boxes making decisions, taking input and putting output, a lot of the time it's very much, it's digital, so it's on or off. It's either on or off. It's made the conditions where it does, and it's on or it's off. There's ASL green, so I think there's a lot of market there for that aircraft. I think this is a fun aircraft. And I think there's a market for a deeper model than the Feel they put out. And it's not a bad model. The FMS, I gotta say, the FMS they put together is great. It really does about 80% of what the Feel FMS does, which is really quite good. Fairly complicated little FMS. And I'm more than happy to say that it does most of what we've done. That being said, like I said, I think they could do with an aircraft with better systems modeling, a little bit better autopilot modeling, VNAV, VLNAV. It's generally there. You can make it work once you sort of learn the limitations of the sim, but it's not 100% true to the aircraft.